Rap star Tupac Shakur last night after a brief life in a rough business. He was 25.
So you guys are driving around.
Tupac Shakur was one of the most influential figures in rap and hip-hop, but his life ended violently at the young age of 25. Many people still debate what really happened on that night in Las Vegas and who was truly responsible. Witnesses recall how moments before the shooting, Tupac was hanging out of the window of the car he was riding in with Suge Knight, his label boss. Some girls nearby called his name Tupac, Tupac, and he waved back, unaware that within minutes his life would be changed forever. According to Keefe D, one of the key figures later tied to the case, when Tupac appeared to be reaching for something inside the car, he got the dunking, meaning shots were fired. This moment has been told and retold over the years, with Keefe D giving interviews detailing what happened that night and how he regrets it. Recently, Tupac's case was officially reopened by the Las Vegas police. This reinvestigation brought new interest and speculation about who might have been involved. Many are focusing on Sean Diddy Combs after being mentioned repeatedly in legal filings. Some say Diddy may have had a motive due to personal issues with Tupac. Back in November 1995, Tupac was photographed with Sarah Chapman, Diddy's former girlfriend and mother of his child. Diddy had publicly described Sarah as his dream girl, and some allege he was upset when she got involved with Tupac. According to one theory, Diddy first attempted to have Tupac harmed because of this situation but failed, then tried again later. The accusations have grown over the years. In one trial, a former cop even claimed Diddy paid $1 million to have Tupac killed. It was also alleged that Suge Knight retaliated for Tupac's death by arranging the murder of Biggie Smalls. Keefe D stated in interviews that Diddy was the lead man behind the crime. People often ask which of the cities where these events took place, San Diego, Anaheim, Irvine, or Las Vegas, was the location where Diddy was spoken to about Tupac. Keefe D says it happened in all of them, that the conversations were ongoing, and that the issue was about both Tupac and Suge Knight. Diddy has been questioned about these claims before and publicly denies them. In interviews, such as one with The Breakfast Club, he dismissed the accusations as nonsense and said they were not even worth discussing. Still, Diddy's name was mentioned 77 times in one legal filing connected to the case, and the accusations have persisted. Even other artists have fueled speculation. 50 Cent has repeatedly taken shots at Diddy in interviews and social media posts, claiming that Diddy had something to do with Tupac's death. Eminem even referenced the rumor in his music, rapping in his track Fuel about how he doesn't want to beef with Diddy because he might put a hit on me like Keefe D did him. Another angle on the case involves Tupac himself. The man who wrote his biography described Tupac as someone who had adopted a tough image that wasn't truly him. According to this biographer, Tupac didn't know how to fight or handle firearms and lacked athletic ability. He had essentially method acted his entire persona as a gangster, believing in the image he had created for himself even though he wasn't that person at heart. This, some argue, made him more vulnerable to the dangers surrounding him. Suge Knight, who was in the car with Tupac that night, has also been tied to the conspiracy theories. In newly surfaced police records, Detective Russell Poole suspected that Knight arranged the hit on Tupac to prevent him from leaving the label. It said Knight framed members of a street team, including Snoop Dogg, to mislead investigators. This theory has gained traction because Snoop was supposed to be in the BMW with Tupac and Suge that night but wasn't. Snoop himself has spoken about this. He said he didn't give Tupac any advice about where to go on the night of the shooting, but they weren't seeing eye to eye at the time. According to Snoop, just days before the Vegas trip, he and Tupac had a falling out. During an interview with Angie Martinez, Snoop had expressed admiration for Biggie and Diddy's music and said he wanted to work with them. Tupac and his camp didn't like that at all, and it created tension between them. On the flight back to Los Angeles, Snoop said he didn't feel comfortable around Tupac's entourage and even slept under a blanket with a fork for protection, fearing something might happen. When they got to Los Angeles, Snoop decided not to go to Las Vegas with Tupac and Suge. He claims he wasn't in the car that night because of last-minute changes and the tension that had built up. Snoop later reflected that a week before the shooting, he and Tupac were close friends, but 2 days before the incident, Tupac suddenly seemed to dislike him. Snoop explained that during a trip to New York, he had been attacked and shot at but still forgave those involved and expressed his desire to work with Biggie and Diddy. Tupac saw this as a betrayal, and Snoop admits he didn't consider how Tupac might feel emotionally. This misunderstanding, Snoop believes, was why he wasn't in the car that night, a decision that likely saved his life. The events of September 7, 1996 have been pieced together countless times. That night, Tupac attended a Mike Tyson fight at the MGM Grand with Suge Knight and their entourage. After the fight, they spotted Orlando "Baby Lane" Anderson in the lobby, someone connected to a previous altercation where Anderson allegedly stole Tupac's necklace. Tupac and his crew jumped Anderson in retaliation. Surveillance cameras caught the fight, and hotel security quickly broke it up. Tupac and Suge left the casino and returned to their hotel to change clothes before heading to Club 662 for a party. Around 11 p.m., they left the hotel in Suge's black BMW. As they drove, a white Cadillac carrying Keith D. Anderson and others began following them. At the intersection of East Flamingo Road and Covell Lane, the Cadillac pulled up beside them. Shots were fired into the BMW. Tupac was hit twice in the chest, once in the arm, and once in the thigh. Suge Knight was grazed by a bullet but survived. Keith D. later admitted in interviews that he was in the Cadillac when the shooting happened. He described how they were driving around when they heard some women yelling Tupac's name and then saw him hanging out of the BMW window like he was in a parade. Keith D. said it appeared Tupac was reaching for something, which triggered the shots being fired. Years later, Keith D. expressed regret over what happened, saying it was purely wrong and wishing it had never taken place because so many lives were ruined by that night. The case only becomes more complicated with the theories that Tupac might still be alive. One officer even suggested Tupac was an industry plant working with federal authorities to broker peace between rival street gangs. According to this theory, Tupac's thug life persona was designed with his stepfather, Mutulu Shakur, to influence gang members into calling peace truces across California and eventually the country. Some say this plan backfired, leading to his death. Others believe it's the reason Snoop Dogg distanced himself from Tupac in his final days, suspecting he might not have been who he seemed. The Tupac is alive theory gained traction when Trey, a friend of Tupac's, seemingly admitted off camera during a 2010 interview that he had seen Tupac in Cuba. Fans found it suspicious that Trey waited until he thought the cameras were off to say this. Later, a video surfaced online allegedly showing Tupac sitting in a parking lot in Cuba, which reignited speculation. Even Suge Knight himself has repeatedly hinted that Tupac might still be alive. In interviews, Suge said that when he left the hospital after the shooting, he and Tupac had been laughing and joking. He couldn't understand how Tupac went from doing well to suddenly dying. Police, however, claimed Tupac was in a deep coma, making Suge's version of events impossible. Suge continued to suggest Tupac was alive in multiple interviews over the years. In one, he confirmed Tupac was conscious on the way to the hospital and even after surgery. Then, just 2 weeks after one of these interviews aired, Suge was targeted in a shooting where someone fired at him 6 times. This incident made him more cautious about speaking publicly on the matter. Suge Knight's son, Suge Knight Jr., also fueled the speculation in 2018. He posted on Instagram claiming Tupac was alive and living in Malaysia. Shortly afterward, he shared a text message warning him that he had said too much and that it was time for him to go. In response, Suge Jr. posted photoshopped pictures of Tupac with modern celebrities like 50 Cent and Beyonce, captioning one with, "He never left us, but they'll be after me soon." Fans were divided. Some believed he was trolling for attention, while others thought he might be revealing the truth. Out of everyone connected to Tupac, Suge Knight and his son would arguably know more than anyone else about what really happened. Whether Tupac was truly killed in Las Vegas or managed to escape and live in hiding is still unknown. The reinvestigation of the case by Las Vegas police has brought new evidence and new names into the conversation, but so far no definitive answers. Even decades later, the mystery of Tupac's death continues to grow, with rumors, confessions, and theories swirling around one of hip-hop's most legendary and controversial figures.